I'm gonna code a better combat update than Mojang in just 7 days, adding each a new feature. But will I make it? Here's the plan. One of the major issues with the combat system is the variety. There aren't really playstyles, so let's start by adding new weapons. First one is the wind axe, so some coding and we have it. This axe does 8.5 damage, and what makes it special is its right-click ability, knocking players off, allowing for some great combos, as the axe doesn't have such a good attack speed for that. The wind axe is findable at the new custom structure called the Skyland. In it is a axe with extra damage, protecting the new axe. Next one is the Skull Sword. This has an attack speed of 0.65, less than half of a sword, but in return it does the damage of a nanorite axe, and 2 abilities. The first one is called 3 strikes. Just like with Stark Shriekers, there are 3 warnings, and at the 4th it does additional damage surpassing even armor, and giving darkness for 3 seconds. The second one is a passive one. When killing 25 mobs, it gains more attack speed, with a limit of 5 levels, which is still a bit slower than a netherite axe. This weapon is acquired when putting 16 Skull Shriekers, a stack of bone blocks, and a Skull Crystal on a working Skull Shrieker. But how do you get the Skull Crystal? In the Deep Dark can now a new ancient structure called the Skull Monument generate. In there are some Skull Shriekers protecting the Skull Crystal that is at the top. The third new weapon is the Heavy Hammer. Its attack speed is slower than a netherite axe, but it has a special ability called Charge. To activate it, you have to right click and sneak for 2 seconds long, and the next hit will do 4 more damage and will knock enemies in a radius of 3 meters heavily in the air, doing extra 6 damage again. This weapon introduces mountain villagers with better villagers. Every single drop sells a rune. Dropping all 4 on the Heavy Hammer at the altar makes it possible to pick up with a cool animation. The 4th weapon is a Maquile, doing massive damage over time with strong poison. It's crafted with a stack of jungle blocks, half stack fermented spider eyes, and a quarter stack obsidian. Last one is the magic book. This was much harder to code than all the other weapons before it. Sadly I couldn't finish it, but at the next day. The magic book shoots gravity projectiles with a range, damage, and slowness depending on how much you charge it. At max charge it can even stun fully for a second. This brings a new wizard tower with it. If you go on top you will find a new magic book, but to get it you have to spend 5.3k XP points, with other words 50 levels, and you get the new magic book. Today we are going to add new enchantment books, in total 7. So let's code how to apply them, as well as the enchantments themselves. So first applying. You drop the new enchantment books and the item it applies to on an anvil. We get a little sound, and when we pick it up, the enchantment is applied after a maximum of 5 seconds. So let's get to the new enchantments. The first one isn't really new, it's actually just power 6 to make the bow more viable. It's found in a new red wizard tower. Just like the next enchantment, range. It doubles the speed of the projectile, and with that also the range, but does a bit less damage. It applies also on the magic book, but without a damage nerf. Third is last strike. It applies to axes. If your health gets 3 hearts or lower, you get strength 2 for 6 seconds. This enchantment is buyable at the weaponsmith in the mountain village, already in a diamond axe for 46 emeralds. Next one is deflect for shields, and is buyable as well at a mountain villager, but this time the armorsmith for 20 emeralds. But what it does do? Well, it deflects arrows that don't have pierce, hitting players back in a certain amount of distance. I personally like this next one the most, and this is Ricochet. It applies to crossbows, and yes, you can use it with multi-shot and spam your opponent, especially in close. But it's not unlikely that you hit yourself. You can get this as a gift from a Fletcher when completing a raid. The last 2 are Splash, Brimstone, both applied to the new magic book. Brimstone is a bit more complicated. Instead of stunning you, it only slows and turns your enemy on fire. Splash gives also damage and slowness to all players around your target, also again depending on how much you pull it. They are found in a blue wizard tower, where also the magic book is found. It's the 3rd day, and time to add now also customizability in not just the fight style but also how it looks. Mojang has added armor trims, so I'm gonna add 2 trims. Let me explain how this works. Until Minecraft there are 3 trims: the order in which the pixels are, and the color of a gray palette. After that I give Minecraft multiple palettes. After some more setup of code, I can tell Minecraft to use a trim and apply a certain palette on it. Sounds brilliant easy. Well, wrong. I also have to tell the game which tool and if it's iron, diamond, etc. And make photos 660 possibilities each a new file. It was so much pain that I had to do much of it at the next day. So the model and textures are there, but how do you trim them? We have 3 new smithing tool trim templates. The skull trim template, the strap, and the crystal one. If you now take a trim template, a tool, and a material, they get applied and you have your trim template. Also, if you have the cherry update active, you can also use the cherry blossom to customize your tools. Just like the armor trim templates, the tool trims are found in structures and mobs. The skull trim template is dropped by the warden, the stripe trim template in Minecraft, and crystal by drop crafting for diamonds and 5 end crystals. Today we are going to mix the idea of adding a new weapon and customizing the look of it by adding breath blade. So there are 4 breath blade types: poison, slowness, weakness, and cherry. If you have the cherry update active, you can apply the blade on your weapon by throwing a sword and a breath blade on an anvil. Also, you can combine breath blade with tool trims, which means 540 more files. Let's code the breath blades. So if you have now, for example, an right sword with a poison breath blade and you hit something, it gets simply poisoned. The same with the rest of the effects, but in return you lose an attack damage. The blades are found like on screen. We are already at the 5th day and it's time to change something about your helmet, because I'm adding 5 new helmet to support your playstyle. And this is the model of the new samurai arm. Let's do some coding. Alright, this helmet features an aggressive playstyle. It takes a heart from your way but increases your speed and damage significantly. It's found in the new Japanese temple, but to unlock it, you must throw a stack of experience bubbles, along with 10 gold blocks on the samurai helmet. Next is the witch hat, that is dropped with a 7.5 chance from witches. It mainly supports the support playstyle by making several splash potions stronger. Insta health 2 gets double. Weakness, slowness, and swiftness get in general stronger. And poison gets now wither 2. In return, you lose a full armor bar. The third helmet is the golden one, which supports, of course, the tankier playstyle. Gives you 70% knockback resistance, but 20% less speed, which is crucial in a fight. It's tradable with the Amosmith villager in the mountain village. If you are in the water, there are now 2 possibilities: Shelmets, that give you now also dolphin space, or the new diving helmet that gives you permanent water breathing and resistance to when in the waters, but slowness that only affects you when you are out of the waters. It's findable in the new rarer shipwrecked submarine and I really like it, as well as the model. Beautiful. Also, the loot in the chest of the submarine are also really great. The last helmet is the wizard hat. This amplifies the enchantment of your weapon. The sword, it's fire spec. Bows, power. Crossbows pierce to level 5, so it can even pierce through walls. Magic books, splash, and last for trident's loyalty. In return, you lose a full armor bar. You can get this one just like the magic book, but in the red wizard tower. The 6th day isn't really interesting. I finished coding off some helmet, added the villagers in the mountain village with some help, and let everything generate. Quick shout out to Jam and Liberjaw for making all these amazing structures and models. Today is the last day. Many structures still aren't finished, as well as some ways of obtaining certain items. I fixed many of those issues, balanced some items, and basically made it ready for you to play. This is the end of this journey. We started by adding custom weapons, new enchantments, tool trims, breath blades, and custom helmets to give the combat system more variety. Also, we added great structures to the game, and the data pack is downloadable for you on Planet Minecraft. This project took 2.5 months to make, so subscribe if you enjoyed, and see you in the next video. Oh, by the way, join my Discord server.